this weekend's weather has you thinking spring, you know that ice is often a challenge that we deal with when temperatures hover around freezing. But there are groups that want you to think twice about reaching for that extra scoop of salt for your sidewalk. As Delane Cleveland reports, there's an effort underway in Hennepin County to use less salt or no salt at all.
In the warmer months, Minnesota's lakes and rivers are a major source of recreation and relaxation. But experts say that the things we're doing in the winter to remove snow and ice have a big impact on our bodies of water.
Yeah, so it only takes 1 teaspoon of salt to permanently pollute just 5 gallons of water.
Laura Jester is on a mission to help protect Minnesota's bodies of water through a campaign called Low Salt, No Salt.
More salt does not mean more safety, that we can all reduce our salt use and still have a lot of safety and actually save money and help the environment at the same time.
Jester is part of a coalition of 11 cities and watershed districts who are trying to get the word out this winter to property managers and pretty much anyone who will listen about how to clean sidewalks, driveways, and parking lots without using too much salt.
We would love folks to contact us if they're interested in learning more about the program. We're giving away these great ice scrapers because this is a great mechanical way to reduce the amount of ice on your property.
In Golden Valley,
you got 2 options here.
Public Works staff have tools like ice melt containers with holes and adjustable salt spreaders to make sure they don't over-apply chemicals when they're clearing city parking lots.
Don't need a lot. And then if you do have residual left over, again, sweep that up, use it for next time.
Of course, homeowners and businesses can always sweep and shovel right after a storm to prevent ice buildup in the first place.
Sweep and shovel early and often.
For Jester, a little effort can go a long way to protecting our natural resources.
It's an extremely corrosive material in all kinds of ways.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Maple Grove hardware store has sold its fair share of supplies for de-icing sidewalks over the last 100 years of business. LeVahn Brothers Plumbing and Hardware Hank is a 4th-generation company. Here's Sonia Goins with that story.
Our niche is plumbing because we were a plumbing business to start with.
LeVahn Brothers Plumbing provided much of the plumbing work during the booming early days of Minneapolis' north side. Back then, they used horses and buggies to move merchandise.
It was my great-grandfather and his 2 brothers that started the business back in 1923.
The family business eventually relocated to Maple Grove and became known as LeVahn Brothers Plumbing and Hardware Hank.
And my father bought the hardware store out here in the mid-90s, and we moved everything out here.
Owner Annie LeVahn says the hardware and plumbing store has just about everything you need to complete a project, and there are experts on hand to help you.
I think we make it a goal to have people that work here that are knowledgeable, that know the product.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Some people say convenience and good customer service keeps them coming back.
I like that it's a small store and that there's always somebody to greet you and take you to the item that you are looking for, so you don't have to run around.
While most businesses struggled during the pandemic, the hardware store did pretty well.
The plumbing was about the same, but the hardware store, we were crazy because we stayed open when a lot of other businesses closed.
LeVahn says the business has continued to grow. Now the owner is celebrating the store's 100th anniversary with a prize drawing each month.
When customers make a purchase here at the hardware store of over $10, they're automatically eligible to enter the drawing.
He says it's a way to give back to customers who have supported them throughout the years.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
A Maple Grove restaurant is undergoing changes which will accompany a fast-growing area in the northern part of the city. Rock Elm Tavern in Maple Grove has a new owner. One of the changes going on right now is construction. What used to be the Sugar and Spice Sweetery next door is now being converted into a place with interactive sports simulators as part of the existing restaurant. And that's not all of the changes happening.
It's going to add to the area with pints and paddles coming in late fall. It's going to be a nice place for people to go. There's going to be more traffic. We are going to more likely change the name here in a few months.
No word yet on what that new name will be. The same owner also operates Optimal Performance Golf, a business that opened up 2 years ago. Also coming soon to Maple Grove, a new Mexican restaurant, but it's one that you might be familiar with. The owners of Rojo Mexican Grill plan to open a second restaurant in the shops at Arbor Lakes. They would take the spot of the former Patrick's Bakery and Cafe. Rojo has a second location in St. Louis Park's West End. The owners say they plan to open the Maple Grove location in April. Here's a walk down memory lane. A married couple who now lives in Lakeville has a soft spot for Brookdale Mall because it was where they would meet up for dates back in the 1990s. They even drove out of the way to visit the mall one last time before it was torn down.
When we'd heard that Brookdale was being demolished on one of our trips up, I think it was 2011, if I'm remembering correctly, we said, let's drive by Brookdale and see it just one last time.
On that trip, they took a few photos and snatched up an old sign that they saw in a trash heap. Now it's become a focal point in their home.
My wife said, well, let's take a picture. And I said, no, we're not going to take a picture. We're going to take the sign because it was clearly going to get scooped up and disposed of. I think it turned out really nice. And people, friends, family who have known my wife and I our whole life, they chuckle. They like, yep, that's in the right spot. That's pretty neat.
The logo is surrounded by small images of animals that are the parking signs that surrounded the mall. Towley found those online and printed them off and says most people remember those. If you'd like to share in the Brookdale nostalgia, there's a Facebook group dedicated to Brookdale Center Mall.
The Hopkins Gymnastics team will be the favorite as the Royals compete for the Section 6AA team title next weekend. In this week's CCX Sports Spotlight, we meet the Royals' dynamic all-arounder Annabelle Speers. Here's John Jacobson.
Gymnastics is a big part of Annabelle Speers' life and has been since a young age. Now a high school junior at Hopkins, she is one of the best prepped gymnasts in the state, still looking to improve.
It's always like a challenge, and there's always something more you can learn, and there's always like a next level, which was just always fun because it never ended. There was always something more you could do.
Having Annabelle with our program has been such a blessing. It's really elevated our program, to be honest with you, because of the skills that she is able to compete and sort of the level of gymnastics that she has. I feel like she pushes her teammates to work harder, to go for bigger skills.
Annabelle started in club gymnastics at age 6 and did that until COVID hit 3 years ago. That's when she switched to competing in high school sports.
I was at home a lot, so I decided to make the choice to move to high school so that I can also pick up other sports. So I now do diving, gymnastics, and track. It's really fun competing for my school. Sports is a big thing for us, and then the environment in our gym is just always having fun and just super upbeat, which is just super fun to come to after a day of school.
While gymnastics is her favorite sport, Annabelle has definitely made a splash in diving too.
It's really fun. I mean, this year I was named the 6AA Diver of the Year, which is an honor, and then going to state the past 2 years, which was really fun. But diving is definitely a side sport to gymnastics.
Of the 4 events that make up a gymnastics meet, vault, bars, beam, and floor, Annabelle definitely has one she likes the most.
My favorite event is bars because it's just fun swinging. I don't know. It's a lot of different mechanics than you use for every other event, and it just works for me, I feel like.
The Royals won all of their Lake Conference dual meets this season to win the program's first conference championship since 2009. The next goal?
It would be really cool. It's been a while, and that has always been a goal of ours.
Make it as a team to state for the first time since 2008.
We definitely try not to get too far ahead of ourselves and just really stay in the moment, but it would just show off how much we've worked in the gym.
Annabelle choreographs her own floor exercise routines and has fun with it too.
We love having upbeat routines. We love using facial expressions and making them fun.
If you see her floor routine, you'll kind of see the personality and the fun that she brings to the sport. And the passion that she brings to the sport and how much she enjoys doing the sport and likes to show off when she does.
At a school with a rich basketball tradition, Annabelle Speers and her Hopkins teammates have now helped bring attention to their sport.
I think people are definitely noticing it more. Basketball is a really big thing for a good reason. It's a really good team. But yeah, I think Hopkins Gymnastics has a lot to show also.
For the CCX Sports Spotlight, I'm John Jacobson.
The Section 6 AA meet, which also includes defending state champion Wayzata, starts at noon Saturday, February 18th at Hopkins High School. We're heading into the final week of the regular season in boys hockey. Despite some recent losses, it's been a solid season for Champlin Park. Jason Malillo has highlights from a Rebels win over rival Anoka.
The Champlin Park boys hockey team visiting Anoka, the Rebels trying to end a 3-game skid. First period, Drew Bellison flies through the neutral zone and snaps the shot home for a CP power play goal. Later in the first, Brent Solomon lasers a shot off the post and in for a 2-0 Rebels lead. And Champlin Park really pours it on in the second period, scoring 3 times, including this one-timer by Nick Carlson off the feed from Drew Pajunin. And the Rebels go on to win 6-rip. In Anoka, Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
That's all for sports. I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for watching CCX.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.